It's time to leave your cinematic troubles behind. Let the takes flow through you. And let the noise from the zeitgeist subside. Welcome to Cast Against Time.
Welcome to Cast Against Time, Holiday Horror.
One holiday down, another to go.
Yeah!
Are you stuffed? Were you stuffed?
I got double stuffed, triple stuffed. And then I had
yeah.
Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, grr.
Right. Wait, I didn't even ask you. Did you actually have two Thanksgiving dinners?
Oh, yeah, we sure did.
Wow.
See, for the folks that don't know or don't care or don't listen, my wife and I have like one of those 4 holiday situations. And instead of being the fun little comedy of errors that it ends up being in any given rom-com situation.
In the movie 4 Holidays? That's
right. Starring, who was in that fucking
Vince Vaughn
film?
and Reese Witherspoon.
You knew that way too fast. Instead of that, it ends up being a nightmare. Not every year, actually. This is the first time we've done it in a while, and we remembered why we don't. But that's okay. That's okay. You got to live the dream and stick around old Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. Where everybody leaves.
Where everybody fucking leaves, and
no
it's
one
amazing.
likes staying here. Yeah, it's great.
If you ever need to convince somebody of the value of Los Angeles and the treasures contained therein, all you need to do is have them visit on a Memorial Day weekend or a Thanksgiving Day weekend or just any one of those long weeks where people get the fuck out of Dodge.
If there is a span of time where you want to do anything in LA that you haven't done before, the last 2 weeks in December are the time to do it.
Why not? Yeah, you'll see some shit. And I understand that you took it upon yourself to see some films.
I did, and I came to terms with the fact that my frequent visits to the Vista have ruined my now recent visits to the AMC City Walk.
Oh, yeah. They'll do that to you.
It hadn't occurred before, but I think I've gone to the Vista like maybe 4 weeks in a row, and then I started going back to the City Walk because I have the A-list pass and it's close. And I saw Begonia
at AMC.
Uh-huh. And I love the film, but no spoilers. But there was I don't know what it is, but you can hear everybody so much more. You can hear the rattling of the fucking candy in a box.
Sure.
You can hear the rattling of ice in a Coke. You can hear people sniffling. And there was also one guy that when the ending happens, and I'm not going to spoil it, it was the oh damn. Oh man, don't do that. Oh, are you kidding me? Like a lot of that.
Okay.
And it's
I don't know if that's the response that anything in that movie necessitates.
But it was like, oh no, they didn't.
Oh no, they didn't.
And it's like, come on, man.
Oh yes, they did.
I get you're surprised or you're shocked or whatever, but you don't have to like outwardly say it. And you can just do it once. You can be like, oh man, didn't see that coming. Even that's excessive, but.
Listen, everybody that adopts the Vista as their home theater realizes very quickly into their experience there just how badly it will ruin your experience at any other theater. I mean, the Vista in particular, but there are a lot of little movie houses that will do that to you. I mean, even the Los Feliz 3. If I had to suffer through, and even AMC in Burbank is one of the better ones. If I had to suffer between that. For even say, I don't know, what's coming up, Avatar, Fire, and Aquavelva, or whatever it's called. That, if I have to watch on their biggest screen, which is not big, but I know the experience is going to be better. Mm-hmm. I'm choosing Los Feliz 3 all the time. I don't need the bragging rights of having seen it in one of the only IMAX theaters. Now, maybe if I love the film, I'm like, I just need to fucking know what the ultimate raster for this thing's going to be. Then maybe they'll schlep down to the Dino DNA parking lot at City Walk and then make my way in.
I will say the IMAX at City Walk has always been a good experience, and maybe because it's so fucking big and loud.
It's one of the few actual ones.
It's the theaters, it's the Wicked's out, and so it's taking all of the fucking screens at City Walk, and so you get left with the screens where the chairs are tattered and there's food everywhere and there's like 30 seats. And it's the movies that have been out for weeks that like you get random people seeing, and that's where people have the freedom to just speak and do all that shit. That's part of the issue.
Well, also, I mean, frankly, and I there's a part of me that wishes that you could do cocktails all up in the old Vista, but something about the cocktail experience maybe hinders some of the AMC screenings. And by the way, while we were talking, I took it upon myself to ask my friend Al the AI. I asked him if he could compile a list of AMC's notable movie tie-in cocktails, and this is what Al came up for.
Oh
me.
no! Like the best ones, or like the most recent ones?
No, just notable. I said notable, and this is what they came up with as lists of examples of notable AMC movie tie-in cocktails. And I'm going to assume it's a he because Silicon Valley assholes created
Terrible.
Al. Let's just be honest. The Sandworm Slayer, for everybody's favorite film, Beetlejuice.
Well, do they have the ingredients, or
This
is it just the
cocktail made
names?
headlines for its unique appearance and high price. It contained blue and black raspberry juice, premium vodka, and was topped with sour gummy sandworms.
Oh.
Fuck that.
Hangover immediately.
Here we go is another one. The infected margarita.
Is this from 28 years later?
Is for the Wolfman? A spicy black cherry margarita made with ghost tequila. I'm guessing that's ghost pepper tequila. Designed to have a hauntingly good kick. Awful.
Terrible.
The Joker cocktail. Whoa. It's wacky. This drink is noted for its bold colors and gone wild theme. Inspired by the character. Doesn't say anything about the ingredientes. The Grand Goodbye for the Downton Abbey A New Era film. A cocktail made with dragon fruit and citrus, described as generous and good.
What?
The Golden Eagle and the Immortal Warrior. Two cocktails that represented different aspects of the hero and the Golden Eagle from Wonder Woman 1984.
Jesus Christ.
And finally, The Reckoning for 50 Shades of Grey, a dark, spicy cocktail with a name that reflects the movie's themes. How can you say goodbye to all of this, man?
Do you know anybody that's ever ordered one of those drinks, or have
No.
you seen anybody order any of those drinks?
I came close when we saw Rogue One. There was it looked like it was just a spicy marg. But then I also thought to myself, this guy's not making spicy margs on the reg. You know what I mean? And no, that's no slam on the generous bartender over working his ass off over at the Burbank AMC or wherever you find fine cocktail establishments in your AMCs. But let's be honest, man.
I feel the same way
Let's be
about.
honest.
I feel the same way about the baristas at AMC. Listen, it's not their fault that they have extravagant lattes that are themed on the menu. But I when I don't want popcorn and it's a later showing, I just want a cup of coffee. Something that's already made that you just dump into a cup. It takes 2 minutes.
Well,
So not only
you are giving up the love and the dedication of the AMC crew at the MacGuffin's bar and whatever they call their barista situation. Do they have a? And by the way, are they all called MacGuffins, or is that just AMC?
I think that's just the
Burbank?
bar. But this,
Yeah.
I went in to see a movie and I ordered this coffee. So you order with the barista, then they give you a ticket, then you have to go to another cash register to pay for it. Then you have to bring that back and show them it when they make it. And this dude was taking 10 minutes per latte and intensely putting on whipped cream and chocolate syrup and all this stuff.
Whipped cream?
And I'm like, dude, I just want a fucking I just want a drip coffee. You already have it there. Just give me the cup and I'll pour it.
Oh man.
That's
a lot. That's a lot.
But that's another thing about the Vista and all those. Like, we've all been there. Those concessions move fucking quick.
Yeah, because they've pared it down to shit that works. You got a few beers, you got popcorn that's always piping hot and cheap. You got a hot dog, and then not just any hot dog. I believe it's a Nathan's. Am I wrong?
I think so. And they have White Castle.
There you fucking go. So you just pare it down to the shit that works: candy, coffee, just like a pot of coffee,
Yeah.
And if you want a fine latte, you go right next door. The good old
Pam's.
Pam's.
Is it Pam's?
So I mean, yeah, I think so.
It's
not-
it's Jackie
it's-
Brown themed.
Well, it's not Jackie Brown thing. I think it's coffee themed. But it's you wouldn't call it coffee after the movie and the drink. That would be bad. I'm going to assume that you're right that it's Pam's. Either way, you go right across the old get out. That'd be silly if they didn't let you bring that inside. I'm sure they do.
They for sure let you. Yeah, because they don't let you bring anything outside of the Vista. But yeah,
But it's there.
that's
It's in
part of
there.
it.
It's in their cup. By the way, you want to know how much that Beetlejuice dose drink cost?
Wait, let me guess. I'm going to say $21.
Well, you could take that price and add another $10 to it.
That's
'cause
insane.
It's a $31 drink. Holy
Do you get
fuck.
a cup with it?
I hope so. I hope you. I mean, the fucking blowjob Dune 2 popcorn holder was cheaper than this. That's too much. Well, this could make for a fun game that we could easily play on good old Caskins type if we wanted to.
Intrigued.
Which is just what would be the optimal movie cocktail tie-in. Just depending on what any given film we're talking about. You mentioned, by the way, off mic that you saw Begonia, and I heard somebody pose an interesting suggestion, and he was down on the film Begonia.
Really?
And I'm not down on the film. I think it's quite enterprising. It's a neat little film. It has a lot to say. Things it have to say are very on the nose, but he compared it to Eddington and One Battle After Another because, these are three films that are kind of doing the same thing in a different way, obviously, across the three. But he had an interesting way of phrasing it. I think that he said something like, Eddington is the materialist critique that we need right now. One Battle After Another is the mythology that we need right now. And Begonia is the shit poster tweet that we don't need right now. And the thing is, like, I disagree. I think that Begonia's not doing the things that One Battle or Eddington does nearly as well. And I like Yorgos Lanthimos, so this is not me throwing shade at him. And the film's not without its flaws, but I would say that it's the socio-political movie that we need right now about the shit posting situation.
I was gonna say, it felt
that
more. It felt more in your
that we
face
don't
and
need.
more like brutally honest in a way, and it was kind of refreshing to see a movie that just kind of didn't avoid the kind of shit poster conspiracy shit that's happening.
Well, it's the, if you'll pardon the phrase, the reductio ad absurdum. That's right. Listen to this dark web. No, it's the most extreme example of like where the shit posting pushes you.
I'll add something else that I think that falls into this kind of exercise.
Yeah.
The show Pluribus.
I'm only 3 episodes in. I'm enjoying it.
And I know this is not a TV podcast,
No,
but I think
it's-
it falls in line.
I think that Vince Gilligan is so cinematic in his approach, or in the stuff that he does well, that it's hard not to think of him as a filmmaker, even though I guess he is really strictly a TV guy if we're not counting the Jesse movie that they did.
Mm-hmm.
What was that movie called?
I forgot about that one.
Cat's Cradle or
Let's just call it that.
Scorpion's Taint? What was it
That
called?
was it. I don't know. I'll look it up while you continue your thought.
Canyon of the Forbidden Souls or Esperanto. It's something like, it's the car, El Camino.
El
That's
Camino.
right. Yes, I got there before you did.
We did.
Anyway, I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting experiment. But he was saying that Begonia is lesser or is less than, and I agree that it is less than Eddington.
I still have not seen Eddington.
What the flying?
It's
fast
on Hobo Max now, so maybe I'll watch it tonight.
Listen, I don't want to put it on a pedestal. It's a challenging text to describe it pretentiously.
I mean, it's what's his face, so it's going to be
and what's his face likes
Ari
the
Aster.
challenge. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is his most nuanced film. It is at the same time his most nuanced film and also least subtle film. It's almost as if he took every, and I'm not going to call it pastiche because it's not pastiche, but it's as if he took every archetype of the Western and found a way to reinvent it. And then also added in this, and I also dislike the phrase postmodern because it's not very useful anymore. Maybe it was when it was first coined. But it is actually kind of a useful way of describing Eddington because it is a movie that is sort of reinventing cinematic language for a new time. But because it's doing that, it's a challenging watch. And not just because it will transport you back to a less pleasant time. The lockdowns were a bad time for everybody. 2020 was nobody's favorite time. I mean, I know that there are people that are nostalgic for it, but those are the same people that are nostalgic for the fucking prequels because that's just what they know from their childhood. Those people are damaged. But it's an interesting rebuke of like the rugged individualism of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. You know what I mean? And I like that about it. It's quite good. It's better than Begonia. But I'd be interested. I've been trying to prod to our listeners. I've been trying to prod Matt into watching Eddington for like 4 episodes.
I've had it. I just haven't chose to put it on, and it's nothing that I don't. It's not even that.
It's not even that. Describing it as just a piece of pop entertainment, pop culture, is hard to do because it's not entertaining in the conventional sense.
That's the thing is, I think there's always been something else that's been a little bit more appealing to me than throwing that on, and it's not because I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. It's just. It feels like a little bit more homework than other films that have popped up.
It's definitely not homework. I'll say that. It doesn't. You're not eating your vegetables by watching. I mean, there's a fucking shootout with a fucking railgun in it. For Christ's sake.
You want to talk about a film that was eating your vegetables that I did not expect that you kind of hinted at? Old Frankenstein.
Oh,
I meant to text you after I saw it and repeat what you told me, which is not sure that I needed it. Not sure that anybody needs it.
I love G. Delt, as we've discussed. I think he's a wonderful man, and I just need him to step the fuck back off of his Dorian Gray thing that he's doing, or whatever.
It just didn't need to be made. There was no reason for it. It wasn't doing anything different. It was 3 hours, almost 3 hours of just like, okay, fine, whatever.
Now, you had pledged in our last episode, or maybe we didn't. Maybe that was an off mic discussion. To see that film in a theater, you were determined not to see it at home.
It was not showed in the theater anymore. So okay. I got a screener.
Do you think, had you been immersed
no.
in the world of the monster?
You had told me, listen, Elordi's the best part in it, but you had said that Oscar Isaac, who we both agree is very good at most things, was not great in it. And I went in thinking like, okay, maybe it's an exaggeration. It was not.
I think it might be the accent, man.
Well, no, it was the accent. It was absolutely the accent. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
He's doing German. Frankenstein.
But it's like evil villain Frankenstein for like 3 hours. And
this is what we'd like to describe as melodrama. It's best used in soap operas, but it can be used in film occasionally.
Also, the framing device was so silly to me. Like this guy's just telling him about his life while this monster's hunting him 30 yards away. 3 hours.
Listen, it just harkens back to the great tradition of the third-person limited narrator. Not unlike movies like The Man Who Would Be King and such. You simply don't have the filmic appreciation that most of us have.
Also, one last thing. Can we get Christoph Waltz a better role in something?
I'm gonna come clean with you right now. I don't know if Christoph has what it takes on his own without QT. I don't know who that's a compliment to. I mean, Christoph's great. We've seen him be great, so we know he can be. But I mean, who have you seen him really shine with outside of old QT?
I don't think he takes the stuff as seriously unless it's a Tarantino movie. I think you're right.
But he's done highfalutin shit.
Yeah, I mean, but again, maybe that's a subconscious thing where he's just not at the top of his game if it's not the best material for him.
I'll say this about Christoph Waltz. I think that what Christoph Waltz needs is a film where he can really bite down on the language. What do I mean by that? I think that he needs a lot of chewy sentences to rattle off. So if you look at his filmography outside of QT, he was like in Downsizing.
Horrible Bosses too.
Horrible Bosses. He was in that.
Big Eyes. He was good in Big Eyes. I liked him then. It's one of his better movies of the last 10 that he's done. That's not saying much, I know, but it is.
But he was like in that bad. He's like in that really bad Gilliam movie, Zero Theorem.
He was in Downsizing.
Like Battle Angel, Alita.
Hey, there's people that love that movie.
What are we supposed to do with those people? Actually, I didn't hate Battle Angel Lead. I can't even say the name of it.
No, he's in a Dracula movie coming out with Luc Besson.
So there's where he went. Well, so we don't need to root for him anymore if he's pairing up with Luc Besson.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm rooting for him, but I just think that he needs very specific and precise language to bite down on. I don't know what accent that was.
Yeah, the last movie that we can probably both agree that was good was solid. I mean, I never saw Spectre.
It's not good, and he's not good in it.
So it's Django.
Yeah, it is Django. I mean, maybe you could say
I never saw the Del Toro Pinocchio, but that's also animation.
Holy fucking shit, that movie! I forgot about that. I need Del T to traffic in creatures and monsters. I need him to step away from fairy tales for surezies.
I mean, he's always doing fairy tales.
Ghost stories, horror movies, and then fairy tales that are very personal to him. But when they're these broad things that have this big literary canon behind them, it's tough.
I mean, the thing is, Frankenstein.
I don't want to see him adapt any more shit. I want original.
Frankenstein and Pinocchio both got rave reviews, so maybe it's us.
No, but you know,
I don't think it is, but maybe it is.
I think that is going to those reviews are going to age badly.
I mean, yeah, if there's out of all the Frankenstein movies, where in the list is his falling?
I don't know.
I'm not going to rush to watch his.
I would go Branagh first, and that's hard to say because it's not a perfect film at all. But it's as close as I want to, like, it's as close as what I need from that material for it to be sort of scary and sort of maybe some things are just better left in book form. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's the other Frankenstein movie that's about to come out with Jesse Buckley and Christian Bale. I showed you that trailer last time I was with you.
Yes, you did.
The steampunk Frankenstein.
I think that we can all agree that the very best Frankenstein movie is 2014's I, Frankenstein.
Is that Aaron Eckhart?
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what we all need. It's the superhero franchise that never got the chance to get off the ground, and we'll never know what life could have presented
There
us.
was that one, and then there was the fucking James McAvoy one.
There was a McAvoy Frankenstein?
Well, he played Dr. Frankenstein.
Uh-huh.
Who played it was with Daniel Radcliffe, who played Igor.
Oh, no.
Who was
he played Igor? Wow.
Yeah, who was Charles Dance is in it? Who's the monster, though?
Oh, fucking, there's a Chuck Dance, James McAvoy Frankenstein movie? It's got to be good.
Who is the monster? I don't know who the monster is. Spencer Wilding?
Well,
maybe I've never seen it. Maybe this is just about a prequel to the monster. I don't know. This looks awful.
I already laid the best Frankenstein movie at your feet. 2014's I, Frankenstein, starring Aaron Eckhart. I mean, if that couldn't launch a career, I don't know what can. I mean, single-handedly ruined Miranda Otto for a whole generation of people. I don't know what else you need for it. Jai Courtney could have been a real star without it. Anyway, I, Frankenstein.
I feel like we have to watch this. This is insane.
I've seen it. And
what provoked you to watch it? Was it Movie Microscope?
Sister Pod Movie Microscope.
Yeah.
Watched it, and they have a thing for Jai Courtney. They like bland white men. He's one of the blandest blands. So,
how painful of a experience was it?
It's pretty painful, but in a way that you would have fun watching it with a group of the right people. If you were watching it with somebody that takes themselves way too seriously, then yeah, you're not gonna have a good time. But if you're with the right group of irreverent drunks, then you can have a good time with it. But is it the stupidest shit you'll ever see? It's up there. Oh boy, it's
what
up
else
there.
has this guy directed?
No one's looking up Stuart Beattie's canon of work. Oh my God, he did The Interceptor. Holy shit!
Know what that is?
He worked on Collateral. He had to be like a second unit guy or something. There's no way.
No, he was a writer.
What the fuck? That makes me rethink Collateral more than anything else.
He was the only writer on that.
That's embarrassing. But okay, Stuart Beattie, I guess we gotta dive into we're gonna have to dive into your filmography.
He also wrote Australia.
There's a lot to dive in with Stuart Beattie, but we can't just dissect one man on this show.
No.
What show?
You might ask.
We might answer. Cast Against Type. a show where we examine the pathology of the mob as it pertains to the world of cinema, where we look across the filmic discourse and attempt to restore some sanity. We do this in one of two different ways: by unpacking the ideas and assertions we stumble across there out in the media, be it social or otherwise, while occasionally subjecting ourselves to mysterious media oddities, and two, by spinning the reel of scopophilia, where we let fate decide on a series of film-related exercises that are in no way a meaningless or desperate grab for contento. We're gonna start grasping for content by facing the media.
Why don't you go where fashion sits? Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes, or cutaway coat, perfect fits. Dressed up like $1 million trooper, trying mighty hard to look like Gary Cooper.
Oh, what are we confronting today?
Well, I stumbled across this thing on the interwebulars, as one is wont to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it begged an interesting question, particularly a question about the difference between simple, lazy, intuitive executive filmmaking and algorithmic filmmaking. Now, we've talked about AI plenty of times. We've talked about how the algorithm does its very best to cater material to you. We've talked about how the big streamers are pogo sticking blindfolded through a major intersection, trying to figure out exactly how to market things to you.
Mm-hmm.
None of that is news. But what is interesting about this article from The Guardian is it kind of reveals just how deeply the creative process has been affected by algorithmic processes.
Mm-hmm.
So the article is called Bland, Easy to Follow for Fans of Everything. What has the Netflix algorithm done to our films?
I like how it says the long read at the top, so it knows that you're going to have to read something.
Is that really what that fucking is?
It has to be.
Oh, man.
Well, you see that on a lot of sites where it's like 9-minute read.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't, because every site also has a thing where like there's now like an option for it to just read it to you.
Yeah,
you know?
the Times does that. Look, on the Times app, it's like 5-minute read.
Okay, that's a lot.
3-minute read.
Let me drop a little bit of this. Let me do some hot drops.
Just drop hot. You can drop hot. You don't need to drop hot on me.
I'm going to stream all over you.
You and your dog.
When streaming, yeah, listen. We already acknowledged at the top of the show that we are broadcasting from a toilet. When streaming giant began making films guided by data that aimed to please a vast audience, the results were often generic, forgettable, artless affairs. But is there a happy ending? Actually, this article does not address whether there's a happy ending or not. But let's just take a little bit of this. When the annals of 2025 at the movies are written, now I'm doing what the AI would normally have done for you folks. So I guess I'm part of the problem. Anyway, when the annals of 2025 at the movies are written, no one will remember The Electric State. The film, a sci-fi comic book adaptation, is set in a world in which sentient robots have lost a war with humans. Netflix blew a reported $320 million on it, which okay, we'll get to that.
Yes.
Making it the 14th most expensive film ever made, but it tanked. Though The Electric State initially claimed the #1 spot on the streamer, viewers quickly lost interest. Today, it doesn't even feature in the company's top 20 most viewed films, a shocking performance for its most expensive production to date. It became just another anonymous mockbuster, crammed with the overfamiliar, flashy signifiers of big screen filmmaking, a Spielbergian childhood quest, a Mad Max post-apocalyptic wasteland, Fallout-style futuristic trimmings. Another way of classifying The Electric State is an example of the algorithmic movie, the kind of generic product that clogs up streaming platforms and seems designed to appeal to the broadest audience possible. Directors Anthony and Joe Russo, who are the first people that came to mind before I even read their fucking names in this article, whose style might be politely described as efficient, specialize in this digital gruel. They also made the similarly forgettable action thriller The Gray Man starring Ryan Gosling. This article goes into a lot of different avenues, but I guess what really stood out to me and what was really interesting about it is the algorithm has worked its way into the creative process itself. Now, I guess that shouldn't be so much of a surprise. And you and I have both worked at companies where we get notes from executives and some asshole at his beach house in Aruba that for some reason has a window into the process and is allowed to contribute notes. And I'm not going to name any particular company, but we've both worked with big streamers and we've seen this in action. But the thing is, and this article touches on it, there used to be kind of a bit of a Wild West atmosphere to the streamers. There was a time where they were kind of trying to figure it out. And I guess that would be the aughts until the pandemic.
Well, they all wanted to be like the major studios, and I think initially they wanted to be prestigious and also make money. And I think that that's where that Wild West kind of time came from. They were trying to figure it out, but also add some prestige to their name.
Right. Well, so this article goes on to talk about the different strategies that they were using. And initially, what was interesting to me was, I guess I never realized that they ever moved away from eyeballs on a thing as a metric. I mean, they do, but it became more of like a ratio thing. So it's like 3 days, 10 days, 30 days. That's now the metric of success. But also, like, it's interesting to hear the way that they like kind of, instead of just focusing on pure data, like pure eyeballs on shit, the streamers, and mostly this is targeting Netflix because they are kind of like on the forefront of a lot of this fuckery. They started looking at something called alt genres as a way of capturing your attention. And what that is it's like an intersection of your interests. So this article makes like brings up an interesting correlation between, say, if you happen to watch F1 movies and documentaries about crime or whatever, the algorithm or the deep learning tools will generate a new genre for you.
They said this started with, not to cut you off, but it started with the position of a tagger who him and his team watched everything and created these initial alt genres, which at the beginning were 77,000.
Yeah.
And they said there's obviously more from that point now.
So yeah, and ironically, it's so funny, like this whole article is talking about all these guys who are like, I love movies, man. I'm just fucking, in fact, all I really want to do is make movies. And like the guy that created this whole phenomenon is this guy named Todd Yellin, who made a movie called like Brother's Mistress or How I Ate My Brother Out or Brother's Shadow. Okay. In 2006, and his name's Todd Yellin. It was his job to kind of gamify how the companies talk about what you're watching. And like, so yeah, his work led to this tagger thing where the position of tagging became more important and more influential than actually just like focus grouping and his stuff.
It says recommendations based on your behavior from Yellen. What you actually watched and consumed is what's more important versus what you actually liked.
Right. So they run from the blandly familiar adventure films to the slightly more specific, relentless crime thrillers to the infuriatingly broad feel all the feels. Oh my God.
Feeling all the feels of the feels.
I just barfed a little bit. And then, of course, there's the quote-unquote casual viewing, supposedly rotting everyone's brains, the likes of The Electric State, Red Notice, an action comedy that's a mashup of James Bond, Indiana Jones, and Fast and Furious. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever fucking heard of The Electric State?
Yes.
Okay.
I have. I have not seen it, but I've heard of it.
To me, like all of this comes down to the, I like to call it the Sunset Boulevard test, which is like there are three main arteries in Los Angeles where I feel like you're bound to see all of the major studios pushing whatever their latest slop is on a billboard. Sunset Boulevard being the biggest offender, but you know.
Highland
or La Cienega or whatever, La Brea. This is not going to turn into geography porn, but it's usually like you'll see the big streamers pimp their shit out there, or at the very least on a bus bench or something. For a movie with $340 million budget, it's just shocking how very little that film was ever talked about, but
it came out and disappeared. Like I heard more about The Gray Man than I did Electric State.
I remember hearing a ton about The Gray Man, which, here's a question. This article is referencing a lot of these different movies that are kind of like algorithmic slop. Electric State, Red Notice. I'm thinking about films like Deep Underground or Six Underground. What was that Charlize Theron action?
The Old Guard.
Yeah, The Old Guard 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
The Oldest Guard.
What was that fucking movie? That Will Smith like troll movie? Actually, that was like in there more. That was in there.
Oh yeah,
it was like Bright.
Yeah, Bright.
But that was before this.
Wasn't that Anton Fuqua too? David Ayer.
What a career, man! What a career, dude. Now he just like makes movies where like the antagonist wears a Hawaiian shirt and has a machete or whatever. But anyway, but this is talking about how all of this different kind of artifice that they're using to not only tag your behavior and correlate it with other behaviors, the streaming companies are trying to figure out how to use data to drive what they produce. And like it goes down even to the pitch deck level.
Or the scripts.
You're right. So, and in fact, what was really interesting to me about this was they were saying that even the executives don't have the power over greenlighting stuff, or at least they have removed, there's a level of abstraction between them and the selection committee, or like the you know, whatever they called it, like the onboarding committee or something like that. Yeah. So like this article is kind of like going back and forth. Is it just like the old studio system where there's this production line mentality and like everything was based on audience perception and they weren't really interested in artist driven shit? Basically, this article is bringing up the fact that there's no actual rhyme or reason. I guess I'm more interested in talking about the way that like things have become algorithmically flattened.
Yes.
So just those films that we referenced, you know, I guess I would even like throw that Zack Snyder
Rebel Moon,
Rebel Moon and Rebel Moon, the
Rebel or
Pussy
Moon
Sprite or Florid Pixie Orgy.
Did you watch any of that?
Absolutely not. It just looked like it was trying to ape Star Wars. Am I wrong about that?
No, it was. I'm sure it was.
Right. So why?
I haven't seen it.
Star Wars is right there. Like I don't even have to rewatch it
because you need slow-mo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
3 hours of slow-mo.
3 hours. Were those movies that long? I mean, I guess everybody.
They were long.
Everybody does miss Jaimon Hansu. So I guess here's a question for you. Would you say you've noticed an algorithmic flattening of movies from the streamers, or do you think that there is still weird, interesting filmmaking going on? Because this article talks about how like at the beginning of the prestige days, it was a big deal when they greenlight stuff like The Irishman and Roma and stuff like that. And they've decided that there's actually no payout there. So it's more interesting to just make movies. For example, this article references how like a big studio note that filmmakers are getting is like the protagonists need to be explicitly stating their exposition all the time.
And like there was script or scenes removed because it was too confusing. It was too
or
it
too
wasn't
edgy,
direct
or too edgy. So like they reference a film that Jennifer Lopez did where she's like a cop in the future or something, and like originally like the film was going to open with like her talking to the head of a robot, and instead the algorithmic creative team decided that would be too weird, and they
went in a completely different direction and had like a raid,
made it like a generic SWAT raid or something, right? You're a person that watches more streaming slop. Your streaming junk food capacity is very high, which I admire.
No, you don't. It's fine.
No, I mean, I do actually, because I think that it's like you now have a perspective on what the slurry tastes like. Is there a homogeneity there now, or is there actual like distinct creative filmmaking still happening?
I don't think there is a lot of creative filmmaking happening, because what struck me in this article, and I think is something that I've already kind of presumed, is that you can't have both, because their number one goal is retention and making money and output, and taking chances on films is not going to do that. And it might hit every once in a while, but it's not algorithmically approved per se. And so they want something that's bulletproof or near bulletproof. And to get there, they're going to use an algorithm, and they're going to use all this data to try and achieve that. Their importance is not put on art. It's not put on difference. It's not put on taking risks, because what's unfortunate is that when they did take risks earlier on, it sounds like they had a bunch of children running the studio during that time. Yeah. And so they weren't responsibly financing or bookkeeping the company while they were taking these risks, which had them lose money. And instead of them saying, oh, well, we can still do this, we just need adults in the room to guide us through it, they said, well, we should abandon this fully and just make slop.
Yeah, because it started, their original content production budget was something around like $500 million, and then it ballooned to like, by the pandemic, it ballooned to about 13 billion. And so now they've like capped it, like the new leadership has like capped it at 17 billion, and they claim that they're going to do that, they're going to focus on quality. But also at the same time, their chief content officer said this. They called the company's model gourmet cheeseburger, offering viewers familiar feeling mass market products with upmarket production values, spread betting, gross, on an inoffensive mainstream rather than riskily hunting down artistic excellence is better for sustaining subscriber numbers. Now, that's gross. But that's, I guess.
At least they're honest, I guess.
But, and so in keeping with the values of our show, we want to try to come to some conclusions about this. And mine are, the onus lies on you, because like they're always going to grasp at these straws. Steven Soderbergh has an interesting quote that he gave to Vulture about this. He says, the entire industry has moved from a world of Newtonian economics into a world of quantum economics, where two things that seem to be in opposition can be true at the same time. You can have a massive hit on your platform, but it's not actually doing anything to increase your platform's revenue. Basically, this is all to say that you, as a consumer, need to be more savvy about seeing a big property, so something like The Electric State. Oh, it's got Millie Bobby Brown and everybody fucking loves
Chris
her.
Pratt.
Yeah, the shining beacon of theatrical excellence, Millie Bobby Brown and
Chris Pratt.
fucking Chris Pratt. Gourmet
I think
cheeseburger.
Millie Bobby Brown's taking some strays here. She can be fine in like a fourth or fifth slotted
Fucking
credits.
Brianna Holmes or whatever it is.
Well, no, but that's a starring role. I'm saying if she was in the cast and on the bottom end of the cast, she could be just fine. She's not a star. She's not somebody that can lead a movie or even be the second star.
Her face
of a
is
movie.
too large.
Did the algorithm tell you that?
No, my eyes.
But Chris Pratt, I think Chris Pratt's days of being a star are gone. And if
It's
anything,
me, Chris Pratt.
and if anything, yeah, unless he's animated, he can't be a live action A-lister anymore for your movie, because I think his stock is lowered.
Well, yes. Either way, that these companies are going to continue to pump out prestige slop. And I want people to go read the article. We will actually link to this because we say that we will every time, and we don't actually link to it. We will link to this one because I think it's a fascinating read. But also because like I think that people need to know just how little respect some of these companies have for its viewership. And honestly, like maybe it's not even about a lack of respect. It's more about they see that you will behave like a sheep, not to use like the language of a pandemic denier, but like they see that you will fall in line and will soak up kind of whatever they put in front of you. And so I guess like if I'm to take any kind of a guiding principle from any of this, it's don't be susceptible to that. If they're making another Ryan Reynolds action film about a CGI imaginary friend or whatever, just try to think about what you're seeing. Try to like not get consumed by the marketing and like maybe try to let it have its moment without you participating.
And I think I think there is an onus on the consumer, but I think there's also an onus on the studio or on Netflix that I think that we need to highlight, because it seems from this article and from these streamers that they're doing this because this is the only way to do it now. And I think that is a very big misconception. And I think there is a way to not do that. And I'm going to bring up your old buddy, James Gunn, who
my bestest friend.
Yeah. Who I think is doing a good job with DC films in that he's been on record several times saying that he will not make something, even if he has laid out the slate of films. He's already deviated from that because he will not greenlight anything until the script is where it should be. Whether that's in his own view or not, he will not greenlight a movie unless the script is good.
Well, okay, but here's the thing about that. I think that kind of falls in line with what we're seeing here, just in kind of a different way. So, for example, this article talks about how they've capped the production budget at $17 billion at Netflix, and they're going to try to focus on quality over quantity, even though they are also talking about how they're going to make a gourmet cheeseburger of everything. Unfortunately, and I do agree that Gunn seems to have some guiding principles that are a little bit less shallow than just like,
well, yeah,
our eyeball's going to land on this, but it also seems like there's a James Gunn process And like everything is now just going to be churned through that filter.
Sure, but I would argue that that is better than Netflix, where it's marketing, development,
it's better.
Computer guys, execs that are around the world, and the director are all having their piece of cake.
It is better, but it's not. I guess I'm just saying it's not the solution.
No, but it can be. Like, a better solution is out there.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if you're given your
studios.
choices between the different slurries, eat the more interesting tasting slurry. I don't know what the consumer can do other than ignore stuff that has been siloed by streaming companies. So, for example, they talked to a guy named Ted Hope, who was once the head of Amazon's original streaming movies. And he had an interesting kind of breakdown of it, which he was talking about like the distribution model and how it's changed. And back in sort of the old distribution model, you could rely on making some films that striked out in weird directions and weird ways. Movies where Jennifer Lopez would talk to the head instead of like the SWAT team coming in or whatever. Because even if they weren't feeding enough slurry to the mainstream, the studios could rely on selling that stuff somewhere, either on DVD or basically to TV. They could rely on syndicating it on TBS. Who among us hasn't seen The Green Mile 15,000 times on TBS on the Sunday afternoon?
Shawshank.
Right. That stuff made studios money. Well, TV's going away and we can't cry about it for too long. The times do have to change. But what has happened, Ted Hope brings this up, he says, not only do streaming companies have no incentive to promote diversity of content in the industry because that model has gone away, but they've also destroyed the broader business model that makes diversity possible. When Netflix or another streaming service buys a film, it effectively demands that it becomes the single distributor worldwide. This model innately favors mass market work that will travel widely, but it has also rendered obsolete the old piecemeal tactic of pre-selling distribution rights in individual territories, which is often how independent films cobble together their budgets. So this is another thing that I think that the consumer needs to be aware of. If you see a film like Red Notice, like that's just like got the same 3 generic stars that every algorithmic slurry movie has, maybe just be wary of giving that property your attention right away, because you need to know as a consumer that those properties are going to get siloed by those streaming services, and they're going to languish there. They're never going to leave like a Netflix. So the Red Notice is never going to be on TBS. Like, what is TBS? No, don't worry.
No, it might be on another streamer though, because they're starting to license them.
But then it will be licensed to that other streamer and siloed at that streamer. In other words, there's not an ecosystem anymore where certain things can get spread around. And I think that's like what you need to be aware of as a streamer. A big budget, kind of bland, algorithmically bland property is just going to disappear into the background. And so like maybe like the litmus test needs to be, what is the stuff we're still talking about a year later?
Well, I think that and I don't disagree with you, I think there's another side to this. So yes, there's a side of consumers should be aware of what they're watching and what they're putting their energy into and whatnot. But there's another thing that they bring up in this article that hits a chord, which is passive watching by audiences.
Yeah.
So a lot of these algorithms hit these certain beats because they know that people are just throwing it on in the background while they clean their house or they do different tasks. And so they don't have to make a quality film per se, because these people are just going to put it on because it hits a couple beats while they do their laundry.
That's a great point. I guess that should be the last thing that we touch on here as kind of a guiding principle that you can take away from all this. So basically the article goes on to talk about how not only are they looking at what you're watching, but how you're watching it, what device you're watching on, what time of day you're watching, and when you clicked on and off, where you paused. And all these things tell, especially the apps don't exist to show you content as much as they do to monitor your behavior.
And keep you on that platform.
Yes, this is nothing new. We're not breaking any news here. But that is something that is worth repeating, because it is so crucial and is something that we all forget so casually, is just how much your attention is being vied for by very, very sophisticated deep learning tools that are watching your behavior. And if you are a passive viewer, maybe this should be a wake-up call to be a more engaged viewer. Because I think the more engaged that you are, the harder it is for these companies to come to the conclusion that it's okay to generically gum up algorithmic slop. Yeah. In other words, the more engaged viewer you are, the less you're willing to just casually throw something on in the background.
I don't know how you stop that.
Just stop throwing shit on as like background music.
I mean, I do that though.
stop doing it.
I mean, I should say I don't do that with movies. I'll throw on the same show that I've watched for years.
TV has always been, now maybe I'm being hypocritical, but I feel like there's always been some kind of a homogeneity to television that has been a little bit acceptable simply because there's so much television. You know, like I don't see how you can make 300 sitcoms a year and have, 90% of them feel distinct, so I understand that a little bit. And yes, if it's a show that you've seen a billion times, I mean, how many nights have I thrown The Simpsons on just to like, have the warm blanket of The Simpsons being on. But at the same time, with the movies, if we want movies to survive, maybe this is what is crucial. Maybe you don't care about the movies. If you don't care about the movies, this is probably not the show for you anyway. But like, I would argue that if you're a person that loves the movies, then please
do this.
Please be aware of your behavior when you're watching. Just be more engaged, I guess. And like maybe, or at the very least, if it's something that you really are interested in,
give your attention to it.
Give it your full attention, because if you are authentically bored or authentically engaged or authentically whatever you are, it's going to feed that behavior to the app that you're using. It's going to feed your engagement, I guess, to the app. So we will get a better sense of what sucks and what doesn't. And so there will be less algorithmic slurry. There will be less red notices.
Well,
I've never seen that
able to
fucking
get
film, but
I'll never get the robot talking to J-Lo. I'll never tell you my secrets, J-Lo. Jennifer Lopez will never get my secret.
I am Six Underground Rod. I write screenplays for
Ryan Reynolds.
I want you to consume directly into my face.
So many robots.
Six Underground bots. I think that's
It's a very niche bot.
Best creation yet. If you don't want to see Rebel Moon 7,
We're going off the rails
woo,
here.
we're not even drinking yet. If you want to see less of the slurry, there are ways that you can combat it. Matt is right. So while the correct behavior is to be engaged and to tune out the minute that you're feeling like you're not seeing a quality product, instead we're willing to go like, I don't know, I'm looking at here. I'm going to get up. I'm going to make a drink. I'm going to whatever. Like I'm going to talk to my wife. I'm going to talk to my 17 children. Braylon, Mackenzie, Braden, Maccaden Blee. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I think
Mackenzie Cloachley.
I think you and I are both allergic to this sensation of seeing a new movie that we're kind of interested in, putting it on and not sitting down and just going about our daily life in the house.
Right.
But I do think there are people that do that. And I think it's obvious that
Okay. And I understand that, and that's not going anyway. That's not going away. But
No,
I guess
I'm
I'm imploring
Please do this. Please.
to for the people that care about films and want to see quality films proliferate. You may have become inured to this yourself, because we have. Matt and I are guilty of this just as much as you are. But if you want to see the slurry go away, you can do it by becoming more of an engaged watcher.
We watched War of the Worlds the other week, and so we
were engaged.
we also fed the algorithm, and we set ourselves back years by watching.
Listen, I would much rather see horrible, sloppy, stinky shit like that than
Electric
honestly,
State?
yeah, really, wouldn't you?
I agree, yeah.
Wouldn't you? Because like, there's at least an MST3K value to it. Like with this shit, it's just like I can tell you all the beats before they happen, and so can you. And you don't have to be a sophisticated or savvy film watcher to like outline every beat of the film before it happens. Primarily because, as this article points out, there's a studio note that every production gets nowadays, where they literally ask you to spell out what's going to happen expositionally. So I'm just saying...
because they don't want to confuse the viewer.
Right. So in parting, I would urge people to read this article. We're going to link to it. And also, being an engaged consumer will help them treat the product less like a product and more like doing an art.
Yeah.
Because as you say, all of this other stuff's not going away. If you prefer the approach of a handcrafted film, if you will, you're going to have to support that kind of work with your attention. Because the fucking robots know. Okay?
Al-G-Rythym.
What do you think of this boner I got?
All right.
Thanks, John.
All right. I guess that means it's time to move along to the goddamn reel.
time to spin the goddamn reel.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So excited.
Woo! Let's do it, bish. Whose turn is it?
You can do it. You were about to.
All right, I'll do it.
3, 2, 1.
Ooh, round and round it go. We haven't gotten this one in a long time. It's the old mailbag.
Ooh.
We were just decrying off mic how we don't get the goddamn mailbag.
We never get mailbag.
Mailbag. Actually, we've decided that if we really, which is not to say that we don't like the submission we're about to get to here, but if something really grabs our bag, something just grabs our bag and doesn't let go, we may opt to throw those into segment 1 from time to time, like we used to in season 1.
They just take our bag, then
We might have to make it the focus of an episode.
wondering where that was going to go.
But let's talk about today's submission. We have a few submissions banked. Thank you for patiently waiting for us to get around to your concerns and queries. So what's
one's
next?
a good one.
What's next on the list of submissions?
So this comes from Lily,
Yay, Lily.
and it says, "Hey guys, the show looks fun." Here's
You don't have to read the table talk part of it.
Okay, it comes from Lily, and she says, "Hey guys, there are many iconic things that get celebrated in movies. Actors, locations, the score, and others. But one thing I never hear discussed are iconic props. I'm thinking about things like the DeLorean in Back to the Future, the Ring in Lord of the Rings, and Wilson from Castaway. Do you guys have examples of your own?"
Well, yes.
Thank you, Lily.
Thank you. That's a great question. And to be fair, to be honest, I don't feel like I ever hear this bandied about. I mean, it's certainly not in casual discussion.
No, I can't recall that we've ever had one off mic either.
And it's a good question, particularly because there are some movies that are solely equated with their props. I think that.
Like The Ring and Lord of the Rings, I think that's a good example.
But not only from a narrative standpoint, but also just like a marketing standpoint. I mean, like there's literally not like a piece of marketing that doesn't have, if it's not the ring itself, then like that weird elvish font or writing.
Yeah.
Obviously, the lightsabers are a big one. You know, so I think there's a different ways that we could approach this. There are obvious iconic props, and maybe we can list a few of those.
I think I like the idea of just bouncing them back and forth, and then if one just catches it.
Right. But then I also but after we do that, I would like to talk about some things that I think more people should count. Because like there are certain things that come to mind. You know, there are, in thinking about this, I did notice that there was 1 or 2 Reddit threads that were discussing this.
Well,
and so there are things that are like on the tip of people's tongue when this, if indeed this ever does come up, so we can get through a few of those, but then I want to submit some of our own.
Well, yes.
But,
my thing is, so a couple parameters. Our mailbag submitter mentions the DeLorean, which is a car.
True.
So is that as we create our own lists, are we including cars, or like another thing is costume?
Well,
it's a costume or prop.
So I would say that, yes, let's define
Prop.
A prop. It's an object that they interact with that is not a part of their body. So I would say that costume is probably off limits.
Yes, agreed.
Car is harder because a car can kind of be a location too, can it?
It's also not technically a prop.
Yeah, I feel like a prop needs to be something that you can interact with. I don't know. Cars are tough.
Because like the Batmobile, you could say is a prop, but it's also a vehicle.
I think if it's a means of conveyance, it's hard to consider a prop. But okay, well, I'll put it this way. If it is something that comes to mind for you, then I want you to defend it as a prop. We can literally, the actual definition of a prop is a portable object other than furniture or costumes used on the set of a play or a movie. So I do think, I guess that is something that occurs to me as well. I feel like it has to be portable. Like you can hold it in your hands. You can manipulate it with your hands.
Okay. I
feel like if it's so big that it like has to be stationary, well, but then again, like there's things like statues or set dressing. No, but you know what? Even that is, I would not consider a prop unless you can lift it up and move it around. Okay. Because otherwise it's a part of the set.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
So if it's so cumbersome that you can't interact with it and move around with it, then I'd say that's not a prop.
Okay.
Why was that so hard for us to come to that recognition? I don't know.
Because we care.
I suppose. But okay, so let's think of it. Let's just bounce back and forth, like some that are obviously iconic. So, and some of these have been mentioned in different threads and stuff. So obviously, okay, the whip and fedora, Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Let me check that off. Rosebud from Citizen Kane is the classic one.
That's a big one. Now, there's some that skirt the lines, so I'm going to hold off on that. Obviously, I was thinking Dorothy's slippers, but that's costuming.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to include that. So instead of that, I will say, actually, this is another Indiana Jones one, but I would say the gold statue.
Yeah, I almost put that. So this is one that I put that now I want to ask because I don't know if it's a prop or not. Mm-hmm. The monolith from 2001.
Well, it certainly does move around.
It moves around, but you can't move it.
Yeah,
It's not set design though.
It is though, because it's always just part of a set. It's never, no one's ever chucking that thing around.
Okay. So I'll give.
But I like it.
Well, here's another one. Okay, now I'm going to throw the questionable ones out first that I have. Is the shark from Jaws a prop?
No, it's a character.
Okay, fair enough. All right, the suitcase from Pulp Fiction.
Yes, that's one that I also had in mind. And that might be one of the most important ones because it's not the first MacGuffin. It's not the first ever iteration of one, but it's the most famous example.
Mm-hmm. So, that and the Maltese Falcon.
Yeah, the Maltese Falcon isn't as much of a MacGuffin. I mean, they're not quite explicit in what its value is, but you've got a sense of what it could be. Mm-hmm. Whereas you don't have no idea what's in that suitcase.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to say the proton packs in Ghostbusters. Or that's a good one. Obvious. That's an obvious one.
The top in Inception.
The top.
Spinning top.
Oh, sure. Well,
that's a prop.
Yeah, it is. Does he fuck with that thing more than once in that film?
Yeah. It's like a common thing where he spins it to see if he's in a dream or not. It's been
so long since I've seen Inception.
Yeah, he spins it 3 times.
Okay.
And that's the last shot is the top.
You're right. Okay, let's see. I'm going to say that Jurassic Park has a bunch of them.
Ooh, the egg with the mosquito?
The egg. So all of the bugs trapped in amber, particularly the one that's on top of
his cane.
Hammond's cane.
Mm-hmm.
But also the fossilized raptor claw. I don't know. Maybe that's not so iconic, but I feel like it's pretty iconic.
Mm-hmm. The Walkman from Home Alone.
The Walkman from Home Alone.
Home Alone 2.
The Talk Boy.
Yeah.
That is an iconic one, if only because it was so iconic that they literally manufactured them for children.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a good one. I'm going to say the Book of the Dead from Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty iconic.
The box from 7.
The box from 7.
And the prop head 7 at the end.
You don't ever see the head.
That's right, you don't, but you see the box. And that's a key line, and it's famous.
That one's tough because it's just a generic box.
Okay,
but I'll give it to you. The leg from the Christmas Story.
Okay,
that's the leg lamp.
Yes, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
It's not set dressing because it's definitely manipulatable.
Mm-hmm.
That's a common one.
The chocolate bar from Willy Wonka.
The chocolate bar or the golden ticket?
Golden ticket. That's a better one.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's pretty. That would be a hard one to lay off of. I would say here's an easy one. The compass from the Pirates of the Caribbean films. The compass that doesn't work. What?
I was going to say his hat. But we said fedora for Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but that one is more of a prop because it literally gets tossed around and then it flies off and flies back on. And that's more of a prop because he's literally fucking with it. The film is fucking with it on many levels.
The last few ones that I have are more... I have a couple more, but they're more lenient on silly or ones that I want to propose. So do you have any that are true iconic?
I'm just trying to throw ones. I
mean, throw some out.
I mean, I guess I would say in any iteration of any of the Arthurian tales, the Excalibur is going to be
a sword.
Yeah, but Excalibur in particular is always one of the most important things in whatever they do. The box from Hellraiser. There's a bunch of horror movie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know.
Blood bucket from Carrie.
Yeah. Well, so actually, a lot of people will bring up that MacGuffin, the suitcase from Pulp Fiction. I would actually argue that Hans Landa's pipe in Inglourious Bastards is a pretty iconic prop. Granted, we're not always talking about it or thinking about it, but like that scene wouldn't be the same without that thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think those are some pretty typical. I mean, I'm sure we are. Simply
we can
can't
sit here
list
listing
every single one, but those are the ones that are going to immediately spring to mind.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go off the beaten path.
Okay, I have the pie from American Pie.
Well, they certainly do fucking manipulate it. It's definitely portable. Okay.
And people remember it.
Okay, I'll give
Or
it to
pie.
you. I'm gonna say the rock hammer from Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
The one that Red gives him, and like by the end, it's like a little nub.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I would also nominate from that film the posters.
Okay.
Those are good. Just a little off the beaten path. Not quite, but I don't think that they would be the first thing that springs to mind. Now, we haven't done this, and this is certainly we wouldn't be the first to do it, so we won't. But it would be fun one of these days to actually break down the existential nightmare that is the movie Cars. If you actually think about like, the existential reality that those cars live in.
I've thought about it before.
And other podcasts have run this experiment, but I think it would be worth running one day because everyone should come to terms with that topic. But anyway, I digress.
I feel like there's some movies that have like iconic dishes, like the Cat's Deli scene from Harry Met Sally, like the sandwich or the soup, whatever she's eating about.
Yeah, food could be. I hadn't considered food as a prop. But there's absolutely no reason it couldn't be. And actually, that's another Tarantino thing. And Tarantino is really good with food props. I'm thinking of like the Big Kahuna Burger, or
the cigarettes, or the dog food in Once Upon a Time,
and the mac and cheese. In fact, I've never seen as gross looking box of mac and cheese look and sound so appetizing as it does in that film. He really loves to fuck with food props, and is like the strudel in Inglourious Bastards, or even the beer in Django Unchained. Like he spends a lot of loving close up detail on like the way that he serves that beer up.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Actually, in the same vein, and I'm going to shout out to my boys at the movie Microscope. They mention in the bag of baguettes that Tom Wilkinson is carrying around, and Michael Clayton.
That's a good one.
I like that.
The plastic bag in American Beauty.
Oh wow! Well, do we also have to say the feather in Forrest Gump?
I mean,
I hope
that.
not.
I mean,
I guess we would have to. Here's one I like. It's really stupid, but the guitar case bazooka in Desperado.
That's a good one.
In fact, there's a lot of iconic props.
Have we not mentioned a James Bond film yet?
Well, I mean, because I guess it's always the same prop,
the knife,
right?
and the knife in the shoe,
or like the laser watch. I mean, his Walther PP7 or whatever it is. Which is like in every movie.
But also, it's a clothing or an accessory, so maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll give it to you.
The bow and arrow that Robin Hood has.
Which one?
All of them. They all have.
Oh, sure. Okay. I mean, it's like saying the gun that the cops have in that cop movie.
Dominic Toretto's necklace.
Well, wow. That's first of all, that's costuming. Second of all, there's no. I don't think there's an iconic anything in any of those films.
A Corona.
Okay, actually, yeah, Corona. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I would say, what about that doubloon in Goonies? I mean, that's more of a recognizable one.
Yeah,
but it's fine. The basket from Basket Case. Definitely. I
mean,
counts.
you can say the Infinity Gauntlet in the Marvel movies.
It's too. Now we're going back to iconic. Oh, the fire extinguisher from Irreversible.
That's a good one. Does Alien have anything?
Well, okay, actually, yeah. I think that that little machine the little radar prop that they use, like that shows you the alien. If only because it's like so central to that Aliens movie, they use it like in 10 different scenes. But now we're veering back into recognizable territory.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go off book here, like the sawed-off shotgun in Thriller, or
the chains in a Black Snake Moan.
The what?
The chains that Samuel L. Jackson uses to trap Christina Ricci.
Oh, the chain. Yes, the
chains
in Black Snake Moan. Black Snake Moan. Well, you definitely went obscure. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll give it to you. The VHS tape in the ring.
That's a good one.
Is it?
Or is it the TV?
Well, because you can pop that little sumbitch in anything. You can pop it in any old VCR. Doesn't have to be the same VCR, same TV.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be that same tape. That's all it is. It doesn't even have to be the same tape.
I feel like there's some movie that had like files that were being passed along or being kept secret that were like just like a file. Like I'm thinking of Chinatown or something that had like some secret files that somebody like some MacGuffin that.
Okay, secret files. Yes, good. Good. We're getting somewhere now.
We've started drinking, by the way, so it makes sense.
Yeah, now it's getting real loopy. This is probably more in the iconic category, but I feel like there's a lot of contenders in Big Lebowski alone, like the rug or the toe.
The bowling ball in There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, I'll go with it. Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg's prosthetic in Boogie Nights.
Actually, now, well, it's definitely manipulatable. Here's one. I will say the cow prod or the cow pacifier
No
or
Country for
whatever.
Old Men.
No Country.
Yeah. Or the coin.
Does he use the same coin every time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could say that for Two-Face.
True. Actually, you know what's funny about that is, at least in the films that have had a Two-Face character, they really don't fuck with that coin very often. They just you just assume that like he's got it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, in The Dark Knight, he uses it once.
Can I throw out a tangential, controversial statement?
Sure.
I still don't think they've ever done a good Two-Face.
You don't like the Tommy Lee Jones one?
I mean, I love it, but I said good.
No, they haven't.
Are there any keys that are iconic?
I feel like there's a key maker in The Matrix, but...
Key maker, but I feel like there's got to be something that's like a key or like something like people have been carrying around and they discover it's a key or...
This is kind of a tangent, and it might be a costume, but the sunglasses in The Matrix.
Yeah, that's costuming. Although I would say the pills.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Those are pretty icon. Those are pretty icon. And
in Alien, the machine that she uses in Aliens.
Which one?
To fight the alien, the yellow thing.
Well, that's, I guess,
that's not a costume.
The mech, like the mech lifter or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a costume. It's a prop. She manipulates it.
I'll give it to you. It's more of a vehicle than a prop, but I'll give it. I
feel like there's there's maps in movies that we haven't mentioned.
Yeah, well, I mentioned the Goonies. I mean, I bet there's that map in there. It's also pretty iconic.
The spray paint in Mad Max Fury Road.
The chrome, all shining chrome. Well, no, that first of all, I would argue that you'd have to say that there are several other props that stand out before that one.
Which ones?
I'm thinking about the chastity belts.
Yeah. Ooh, I got one. The business cards in American Psycho.
Ooh, that is a good one. Nice. Burning Cross and Mississippi Burning. It's a personal favorite of mine. That little girl from Schindler's List, she becomes a prop. The girl with the red jacket. At first, she's a character, but then she ends up a prop.
Can you elaborate?
Well, I mean, she's no longer a character after a while. She just becomes a prop. She's manipulatable. She's definitely portable.
Definitely manipulated her.
Yeah. The List.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Does he make a list? He makes a physical list, right?
Did they? Yes.
Yeah. Well,
he writes a list. The pen,
all that
that
shit.
He uses.
Yeah, the pin. Like it could have saved one more and all that. His car. Those are props.
They are props.
Gold teeth. Got real dark. All of a sudden.
Oh man, where do I go from this?
The piano and the pianist. We could just keep going with Holocaust movies.
Oh man,
I feel like weapons are hard to justify as props.
Yeah,
like a lot of people have like on that Reddit thread were like saying like, oh, like Harry Callahan's Magnum from.
We can say that in literally every movie that has a gun. That's why That's why the car thing. It's like you can bring up every car of every iconic car in every movie.
Right, because at that point, like from you're mentioning aliens, like you could say like that flamethrower, but it's like it just doesn't. That doesn't feel like it counts. Weapons don't feel like they count for some reason, even though I mentioned the whip. The whip has utility to it.
Is there a famous cocktail that somebody is always drinking?
Well, you mentioned Bond. I mean, he's always got his shaken, not stirred martini.
The martini, the margarita in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's making those margaritas, or the tape recorder. The tape recorder,
whiskey sours.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Or the tape recorder he recites lines with. Si, senor.
Yeah, but it's more about the exercise than the vehicle in those cases.
Because if you said flamethrower, you could throw that flamethrower in there too.
Well, and that one I would say actually you have an argument for because that one is literally a prop.
I
from
know,
this prop closet.
I know the prop from that movie.
Go for it.
The acid-laced cigarette.
Yeah, I'm not going to say no, but I think you might be right about the flamethrower more than that because it's actually now we're getting into like a meta prop. It's like a prop from a movie playing a prop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like 3 layers of abstraction there. Okay, all right. These are just some of the exercises that you could be participating on. Were you on Cast Against Type or whatever the name of the show?
If you got some that we missed, send them in.
Well, we missed a whole heap in hell.
We didn't miss any.
I wanted to go more obscure, but off the dome, my brain no good.
No,
that's what I want. I want your obscure ones. I don't want your iconic shit. We all know about Rosebud. We all know about Snow Globe. We don't need that shit.
Yeah, give us some funky ones.
Now, obviously, if you just say something's a prop, you got to justify. You can't just here's a weapon that is iconic: Dusk Till Dawn crotch gun.
Okay,
Bobby Rod. Look, Bob Rod. Oh, and body parts guitar. Dusk Till Dawn. Which is real stupid, but I kind of have a soft spot for it. Now, that's a good question. I mean, we've already seen how a living person can become a prop, but can a dismembered like body part like become a prop, or like a skull? Are there any prop skulls? I mean, Hamlet. But that's not whatever.
28 years later has a bunch of them.
True.
No, he broke.
True. Hammer dick. That's not a prop.
No, that's all him.
Yeah.
That's all him.
I don't think that guy's real cock.
Can a wig be a prop? I mean, you can say the stick and weapons.
There's nothing iconic about that movie yet. Let's just give it time.
You are the only person that I've talked to.
Give it time. I don't even hate it. I just hate. I
does not like it.
No, I liked it. I told you, I liked it fine. But let's stop pretending like it's God's gift. It's just fine. It's just fine. The floating clock gun and weapons.
Mm-hmm.
That made me so mad. So mad. And I'm not alone, by the way. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely like glossing over some horror ones.
The throw up from The Exorcism?
Well, I would think that more masturbatory crotch stabber.
You mean the cross that she uses?
Crucifix crotch stab.
Yeah, you mean the weapon that she uses to stab herself.
The cross. The cross. That cross would be
the iconic cross.
Well, good. I mean, we could get stuck in this loop, so we're not gonna. Yeah. You let us know what some of yours are, but that was a fun exercise, Lily, and we're glad that you submitted it. And
anyways,
castagainsttype@gmail.com. Cast Against Type on all the socials, including Instagrams, Ticking and Talking, and all of other things. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio,
RSS feed
at soundcloud.com/catpod. Please do this. Write into the showings, and your question could be submitted on a future mailbag.
Please do this. Please.
Yeah, we're not going to have to whore for ourselves anymore.
We don't have
somebody
to
do it for us. But spread the word if you can. It helps, and it's been nice to see a little bit of traction here and there. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Keep on slopping up that slurry. Slop it up.